welcome to CS Hot Topics today. My name is Colette, and this is my son. We call him AJ. So today with our Hot Topics, because it is the time of year that a lot of families have family reunions, I decided to talk a little bit more about that. I have been doing the chronicles of the family reunions. So every day I put a little snippet, whether it's a picture or whether it's a quote or something as it relates to family reunions. Some of the things is very comical, but true. Some of the things is maybe far-fetched. But I just wanted to bring awareness to family reunions because, as we all know, that sometimes family reunions can be very stressful and not always a good experience. So today, I wanted to really talk about the why people have family reunions and also the purpose of family reunions. And when we think about family reunions, it just depends on the family with their purpose. Some families decide to have family reunions every year. Some may have family reunions every 5, some may have every 10 years. But the original reason that family reunions are come about is just to kind of bring just to remember the traditions of the family, the history of the family, and also to introduce new family members. And just to make sure that your children know their cousins and their uncles, because we all know when kids don't know who they're related to, there's a possibility that they can actually fall in love and get married. So family reunions kind of keep that kind of eliminates that, because when your kids meet their cousins and their first and second and third and maybe fourth or fifth cousins, they know that's bloodline. So other reasons why people have family reunions, especially when there are older people there that hold the history of the family. It's nice to just sit around and hear the stories, and those stories are just something to appreciate, especially if you have someone that's 90. I mean, that history, it goes way back. So the importance of just that. But nowadays, lately, family reunions have turned into something, an awful experience where it's not even about just remembering those that have passed, remembering the traditions of the family, or just remembering their history of the family. It starts to be something that's not cool. And so many of us choose not to participate in family reunions for various reasons. And I, for one, although love family, believe in family, but it has to have a purpose. And what I see a lot of is that people tend to judge you based on if you are a family reunion goer or not. They don't really think as if you don't value family, and that may not be the case. So it just depends on your family and the reasons behind every family reunion. I can't see myself having a family reunion with people that I actually see almost every day. So what are your thoughts about that?
I think family reunions are a big part of growing, just a big experience of a child's life. That you get to be well-rounded, you get to know what is out there. Your family, you have
the history.
Yeah, the history of your bloodline. And so you really have a base. You have a very structured personality, so you know who you are.
Mm-hmm. And I guess that in turn, that's really a good analysis of why he feels that family reunions are important. And as you get older, as I'm getting older, I realize the importance of just knowing who you are and where you originated from, and just your ancestors, and just people like, why do I think this way, or why do I look this way, or why you ask those questions. But if you have not been able to connect with those people to have those answers, the answers to your questions, it makes it very difficult to really know who you are in terms of your history. And sometimes if you grew up as a person that was adopted, you really don't really know your family like that. And sometimes people take that time to kind of like, if they choose to, try to find background information or even seek out information on their family. What do you think are the positive things? Okay, that was the positive things as far as family reunion. What do you think are the negative aspects of having a family reunion almost every year?
I think the negative parts of having a family reunion every year is that you don't always get along with your family members. And if you keep on seeing the same people that you always argue with, it tends to be just a place to argue and fight.
And it can be a negative experience. And that's not what we want. And you know what I think about in terms of that? It's like as you grow older, those little things that keeps confusion going, it should at some point just like subside. Like, why are we still there? One thing that I've noticed, just being a part of a big family, several families, because I'm married as well, is people, especially my family. I can't say my husband's family because they don't know me as a child, but my family, my family that knows me as a child, knew me as a child. Sometimes they, in their mind, in their psyche, they think that you're still a child, so they want to keep up those childhood behaviors, or oh, you used to do this, or oh, you used to do that, and then there's a lack of respect as an adult that tend to come into play. So sometimes when you find yourself around your family doing family reunions, those that have not grown past that or have not matured to the level of understanding that people, as the Bible speaks of it, when I was a child, thought I was a child, understood as a child. But as I become a man, I put away that childish things. There are some family members that stuck on that. They have not gone past the childish ways, the childish mentality, and they want to. They think it's okay to continue those behaviors when we have family reunions, to bring up things that are negative or things that you did as a child. So those that can be very negative experience. What are some of the other things that can occur? Not that I'm like discrediting family reunions. I think it's awesome. I think if it's well planned, because you have to have a plan. You just don't have families come from everywhere and just to eat or just to have a big picnic. There should be some type of history, some type of information that people can take away when they leave the family reunion. I think that if I'm going to an event, I want to leave feeling better than when I came. If I'm leaving upset, or if I'm leaving not happy, or it's like I can stay home. Like I can save my money and stay home. I don't need to go anywhere, spend my money, and not have a good time and leave feeling great. So what I've taught my son is, you treat people how you teach people how to treat you. If you've gone to events that consist of family members, even close friends, and they don't know how to treat you, then you have that option. Either you can stay and sit and allow them to be disrespectful, or you can remove yourself. And regardless of what people think about that, that's your decision. Because I feel that every experience should be a good one, and when it's not, what can you learn from that? What are your thoughts? No thoughts?
No thoughts.
Because he has not been to a lot of family reunions. I think you've been to a couple on your dad's side. How was that experience?
It was new because I don't really see family in general. And seeing a side of a family that didn't even know me, all they knew was, oh, that's Alfred's son. Mm-hmm. That's all. They didn't know anything that I do at school, out of school, anything.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that? Or do you what?
I feel like we should be doing better as a family. Mm-hmm. We should always know each other.
Yes.
And
I
any
agree.
type of grudge we have with our family members, talk talk it out one on one. Don't go to Facebook, Instagram, and spread it publicly.
And I think that with this whole social media, it's just been a circus of foolishness. As you all know, I love the word foolishness because that's the kind word to describe the nonsense that I've seen or have experienced. And one key thing that Alfred said was talk it out. And there sometimes talking it out and moving ahead is a blessing. But what if you talk it out and you thought everything was okay, and then it's not because another incident occurred and that's brought back up? So at that point, what do?
I mean, you just separate. There, you shouldn't be. If you cannot be have it come to a mutual agreement with the person, just separate yourself. You don't have to be around them to love them. Just know we can't be together because when we're together, we fight all the time.
And so when you think in terms of family reunion and it consists of people that you've just spoke of, and you decide to remove, do you still decide to remove yourself? Or how do you handle situations like that? Because everybody is not a part of whatever the situation that you've had with the person that there was a disagreement with. Do you just not show up to the family reunion, or do you just what do you do?
You be cordial, you be nice, you say hi, talk to them for a little bit, but it's not like you both are best friends. You're just two people talking. You don't have to talk long. Just know that we're not going to be talking and hanging out, but that doesn't mean that we can't be nice to each other.
Exactly. So with the many family reunions that are coming up this year, and I don't believe I'm probably going to attend any for various reasons. One in particular, we're going through a transition here at our home as far as finding, selling. It's a lot going on. Then besides that, I have other reasons why why I am not going to any family reunions this year. What would be some of the? I mean, I know we talked about like discord, disagreement. My thoughts on family reunions, and I believe the traditional reason, the reason why people did it was to make sure that they stay in touch with their family. But Facebook is a whole different ball game. You can really stay in touch with your family members on Facebook in a positive way. We use Facebook like we forget that Facebook is like, that's media, social media. So whatever stupid things you say or say things are disrespectful, it's out there. And even if you delete it off your page, someone picks it up on theirs. So with that being said, I think a lot of relationships and families are destroyed because of Facebook. And for me, my opinion, if family members are saying or doing negative things towards me on Facebook, I'm not too quick about going around them in person. On Facebook, people talk crazy because you're not there. But in person, they talk crazy. It brings on different energies. It's not a part of who I am. So my reason, which are many, of not going to family reunions is that. It's also, what does family really consist of? What does it mean to really say we're family, not just blood family? The way families are used to be as children, I remember that it used to be an honor to be around my cousins and my aunties and uncles, and because we got along, we loved each other. And for some reason, something happens when you get older. So in that way, like with that information, how do you handle that? Would you say still go, get over whatever your differences are, or what would you say?
You still go to the family reunion. At least let people know that you